What's good? This is JVB representing SPD, and that is sportsperdiem.com. And today I want to talk about the Chicago Bulls. Yet again, putting a smile on all their Bulls fans' faces. The Bulls held their end-of-season press conference a couple of days ago, and, it was basically the same old shit, same stuff that we've heard year after year after year after year. But the biggest piece of news to come out of the press conference was John Paxson talking about Jim Boylen and saying that extending Jim Boylen is a priority. In fact, publications came out later on saying that a 3-year extension is imminent. Really? Really, John Paxson? I mean, I shouldn't be surprised because it is the Chicago Bulls. It is John Paxson. They've been doing this for 16 years now. So I shouldn't be surprised, nor am I surprised, because this front office only cares about getting by. I said this before. I've done Bulls videos in the past. Gar Forman, John Paxson, just being complacent, not trying to take big chances, not doing their true due diligence. They do the bare minimum of what they can possibly do just to get by. For them, 41-41 and making the playoffs, that's a win. And I talked about this with my cousins. We do a little conference call, so to speak, here and there. And we talk about current events in sports. And we talked about the Bulls and how fans are apathetic now. Fans don't even try to care, because the franchise seems like they don't really care. They're just trying to get by. All they really care about is the mighty dollar. And I get it. They're worth over $3 billion. You want the revenue to be strong in whatever you're doing. Selling tickets, merchandise, TV ratings, yada, yada, yada. But the thing with the Bulls is that it seems like that's what they care about the most. They just care about the mighty dollar. They don't really care about being a true contender for an NBA championship, yet alone a true contender in the Eastern Conference. They really only care about controlling the narrative, taking as little chances as possible, and just getting by. That's it. But back to this alleged extension for Jim Boylen. Why do they believe they need to extend Jim Boylen? I get it. Next year he's going into his final year of his contract. His lame duck year. But who cares? Does he really deserve to be extended another year, yet alone 3 years? I'll give you the answer. No, he doesn't deserve that. And he hasn't done anything to truly deserve an extension. Let him ride out the last year of his contract, and let's see what happens. Let's see how this team really reacts to Jim Boylen over 82 games. Yes, it does look like he won over Zach LaVine, especially towards the end of the season. But that can also be Zach LaVine being a pro, because how Zach LaVine went about things once Jim Boylen became the head coach, it wasn't a good look. It was a telling sign that Jim Boylen isn't that good of a coach, but Zach LaVine should have went about it in a different way. So as much as some people want to shed light on, okay, Zach LaVine is buying in, one of the best players on the team is buying in now on Jim Boylen. Not necessarily. Zach LaVine wants to be respected. He wants to be a leader on the team. And he knows talking shit to the coach and being insubordinate isn't going to win him over his teammates. So as the year went on, he grew and he learned from that. And at the end of the season, he was much better. He was a better leader. He was more vocal, him and Jim Boylen. So that was good. But he's doing that to improve on himself as much as anything. Now, if this really happens, and it pretty much seems like it's locked in already, But everybody got to make sure to check their calendars for May 14th because the draft lottery is going to play a big part, in my opinion, on whether or not Jim Boylen should be the coach next season. So let's say the Bulls won the lottery and they're going to draft Zion Williamson with the number 1 overall pick in this year's NBA draft. Hell, maybe even the second pick. Let's say they got the number 2 pick and they drafted John Morant in this year's NBA draft. Do you really believe that Jim Boylen is a coach that can get the most out of John Morant or Zion Williamson? I'll let you think about it. Go ahead. I got a little time, I'll let you think about it. You don't think so? Yeah, me neither. Because that's not what Jim Boylen does best. Jim Boylen's rah coaching will only do so much in the NBA. Like, you need to have more intangibles as an NBA head coach if you want to get the most out of your young talent. Yes, Zion Williamson and John Morant can be God-gifted. They are God-gifted, and they can be great in spite of Jim Boylen. But you still need a coach who can get the most out of all of his talent, all of his roster. So that means the guys on the roster now: Zach LaVine, Lowry Marketing, Wendell Carter Jr., just to name a few young core guys that still have room to grow. And you want to see them grow to the highest level that they can possibly grow. But if they don't have the right teacher, the right coaching, it's not going to flourish the way it should be. And to me, Jim Boylen just isn't that coach. Yes, if the Bulls get the number 1 or number 2 pick, or if they stay at number 4, whatever the first round pick is, to go along with the talent that they have on the team right now, the Bulls could realistically be a playoff team next year. Like, do you see the teams that are in the Eastern Conference playoffs right now? The Orlando Magic, the Detroit Pistons, the Brooklyn Nets, the Indiana Pacers, without Victor Oladipo. These teams are in the playoffs. So, yeah, I absolutely believe that the Bulls can make the playoffs next season, especially if they stay healthy. The Bulls can definitely be a playoff team next year. They can be in the playoffs at 40-42, 39-43. That can possibly happen. It's the Eastern Conference. So you could slip up 6 ways from Sunday and still make the playoffs. But all I'm saying is that if the Bulls make the playoffs next year, it doesn't necessarily mean that Jim Boylen did a great job in bringing them to the playoffs. The one thing that I would say is that it's a cheap contract. That if they don't play up to expectations next year, he can be let go. If they're not playing up to expectations the year after next, he can be let go. Like, they fired Tom Thibodeau, they fired Fred Hoiberg, and those guys had like $5-some million left on their contract. So letting Jim Boylen go because of incompetence could easily be done. So that is the good part of it, for me at least, because it's still a bad move. To not go out and have a legit coaching search, to scour the league up and down the college ranks to find your next head coach that can actually lead this team and get these guys to flourish and play up to their potential, that's bad. Like, real talk, that's bullshit. To be that incompetent, to be that lazy, to be that complacent and say, you know what, we don't need to do a coaching search. We don't need to do that shit. I mean, like I said, I shouldn't be surprised, but I've never seen a person in this position get off for so long. This man has been here for 16 years, and the Bulls have made 1 Eastern Conference Finals, in which they lost. This is the same man who 16 years ago in the 2003 draft had the number 7 pick. He's a part of the front office who had the number 7 pick, and they could have traded up to the number 5 pick, I believe, to the Miami Heat and drafted Dwayne Wade. But they didn't. And it wasn't because Miami rejected the trade. The Bulls rejected the trade. You know why they rejected the trade? Because the Miami Heat wanted Donyell Marshall along with the 7th pick. And the Bulls said no. I loved Kirk Heinrich back in the day. I loved his toughness, but they said no to Dwayne Wade for Kirk Heinrich. Kirk Heinrich, who's been out of the league for numerous years already, for Dwayne Wade, one of the greatest shooting guards in NBA history, a future Hall of Famer, and he just retired this year. And yes, Paul Pierce, he had a better career than you did. So the Bulls could have had Dwayne Wade in 2003, but they didn't want to give up Donyell Marshall, who I do believe they traded to the Toronto Raptors. This shit is crazy, man. But I guess we shouldn't be surprised. We saw it in 2003, and it's still going on in 2019. Moments where you just shake your head and you can't believe what the hell is going on with the Chicago Bulls. Unfortunately, this is the way it looks like it will be for a very long time, because unlike Magic Johnson, who did take a L and he did step down. I mean, I didn't like the way he didn't tell Jenny Buss, but he did step down. Unfortunately, Johnny Paxson isn't built the same way. John Paxson will be in front office in some capacity as long as he wants. And that sucks. It sucks that you don't have a real coaching search. But I digress. Let's just get ready for another 3 years of Jim Boylen and the yes man that he is for John Paxson and Gar Forman. Hopefully the players can overcome all of this shit and they can be presentable on the court and they can be a playoff team. Hopefully Lauri Markkanen continues to progress. Hopefully Zach LaVine, if he doesn't get traded, continues to progress. And hopefully they get fucking lucky and get a top 2 pick. Hell, even a top 3 pick. But I'm done, man. Like the video, share the video, and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take it easy. God bless.